You may have noticed that people are paying attention to the WNBA now. That's because there is a player in college named Caitlin Clark. And so for a hot minute, we're all going to pretend to care about the WNBA because she was very entertaining in college basketball. But as it turns out, Caitlin Clark has gone to the WNBA, and other players have been very angry with her. They're running her sort of through the ringer. They're knocking her down, and they're insulting her, and they're being jerks, even though she is obviously bringing eyeballs to the league. And one of the things that's happening with the WNBA right now is some sort of thing that happens with an indie band when it suddenly gains popularity. And it was like, you're selling out. You're selling out. Well, the people who think that the WNBA are selling out, those people who are upset with the popularity are largely upset because they saw the WNBA as the preserve of black gay players. That's just the reality. A lot of the journalists who covered the WNBA saw this as, quote unquote, the safe space for people of color who are also lesbians. And Caitlin Clark is a white straight girl. And so they're having a real problem with the fact that Caitlin Clark is bringing a lot of broad spectrum fans over to the WNBA, because it turns out that that's a pretty niche audience, people of color who are lesbians. And so that's not like going to get you millions and millions and millions of followers. But it turns out a really popular college basketball player might. And so there are people who are getting increasingly upset about this. So Joy Reid and Jamel Hill joined together to get very upset about this. They're very upset that people are suddenly interested in the WNBA because a person who is popular in college basketball is now popular in the WNBA. That's bad somehow. It's like the indie band sold out.
How much of this do you think, though, is the marketing potential of a Caitlin Clark? Because quite frankly, this is a league that is largely, as you said, largely black women. It's also largely LGBTQ. She's a white heterosexual woman. And so if you're trying to get white dads to go spend their money and buy season tickets, she seems like a marketing opportunity. How much of it is that?
I don't know why people find that to be controversial to think about that. I mean, we know that marketing is about ability, talent, all those things. And nobody's saying that Caitlin Clark doesn't have those things. It's like she's incredibly talented. She's broken record. She's playing a playing style that people love, that is very representative of what we see today, particularly on the men's side. But yes, it helps that she's white, straight and from Iowa, in a league that has faced marketing challenges throughout the history over the last 3 decades that it's been in existence. It's faced marketing challenges because of the things that you mentioned, because 70% of the players are black women, because a third of them identify as LGBTQ+. Yes, it has faced challenges.
Okay, the fact is that so many members of the left-wing media are suddenly upset with Caitlin Clark. They're like upset that there's popularity because the preserve is being violated by all of this. I mean, the reality is that, yes, when you niche market your league, it turns out fewer people watch it. That's your problem in the first place. The problem is not Caitlin Clark. The problem is how you marketed the league in the first place. The cost of living is up almost 20% from when Joe Biden took office. Families everywhere are feeling that burden. And yet, legacy media keep insisting the economy is totally fine. In fact, a recent Business Insider article makes the case the American people are to blame because it's the people's perception of inflation that's giving the economy a bad rap, you see. This is Gaslighting 101. The person who wrote this article should be fired or go work for Biden directly. Well, I don't have any control over that. I can help you find ways to save money in this economic climate. One way, switch on over to Pure Talk. If you're one of many American families looking to cut down on your monthly bills, you need to start with your cell phone service. I recommend Pure Talk because it's both affordable and reliable. Pure Talk is rapidly becoming the wireless company of choice for conservatives. Plus, it's great for families because the more lines you add, the more you save. Not to mention, Pure Talk is veteran-led. Instead of funding DEI initiatives, they fund basic services for vets who have served this country. 100% of their customer service team is located right here in the U.S. If you're looking for ways to save money for your family, I highly recommend switching to Pure Talk. Visit puretalk.com/Shapiro to explore their offers. When you make that switch, you'll get an additional 50% off your very first month of service. Visit puretalk.com/Shapiro. Upgrade your cell phone service to America's most dependable 5G network. Save an extra 50% off your very first month. That's puretalk.com/Shapiro today. When it comes to race, there's also one other voice that I really trust, and that, of course, is the voice of old white lady Chelsea Handler, who's gradually turning into a raisin. So here is Chelsea Handler explaining to 50 Cent. 50 Cent went to the Hill for to meet a bunch of legislators about business that he's doing in Louisiana. It was kind of funny. He went and he met with Lauren Boebert and then had to claim they didn't have a sexually transmitted disease. They took some cozy photos, which was more than a little bit awkward. But in any case, here was Chelsea Handler informing 50 Cent that he's not allowed to vote Republican, even if the Republicans are nice to him because he's black, which is something that 50 Cent definitely has to hear from this old white lady.
I had to remind him that he was a black person, so he can't vote for Donald Trump, and that he shouldn't be influencing an entire swath of people who may listen to him because he's worried about his own personal pocketbook.
Well, I'm glad that we have Chelsea Handler to explain things like this. By the way, have you noticed that Chelsea Handler is slowly turning into Steven Tyler? It's a little bit awkward for Chelsea Handler. Just remember, racial politics in America is in the best of hands with people like Joy Reid, Jamel Hill, and Chelsea Handler. The people who racialize everything will ensure that America moves forward on the racial front. Are you tired of the lies and the twist of the mainstream media talking points? Yeah, me too. Join me in my newest series, Fact, where I dismantle and bring truth to this tiring mainstream agenda.